Has anybody claimed the work that you did was theirs? Well, today we're going to talk about Keith Hunter Jesperson, the happy face killer, and how he got captured because he took the credit back.
We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX, MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Me Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, Angry Bayful. Yes, today we're going to talk about Keith Hunter Jesperson, the happy face killer. And this is, I don't know. I got a photo of him real quick. I'm going to start doing like photos and everything. Because I'm starting to learn all the stuff on this StreamYard that I've been using. And if you want a podcast or you want to do this type of stuff, go to StreamYard. $25 a month. And if it works out for you, works out for you. But this is him right here. You can't see the mouse. I need to find a way to do that. But anyways, but that's him right there. I'm going to talk about him. All right. Now, back to it. Let's go over his stuff. Keith Hunter Jesperson, who was born April 6, 1955, is a Canadian-American serial killer who murdered at least 8 women. Sorry. English was never my best subject. Reading, never my best subject. But he would draw smiley faces on the letters to the media and authorities. We'll get to that. But he mostly killed sex workers and homeless women. But he was confirmed 8, but he said that he's killed like 160 on one place, and he's confessed to upwards to 185. But let's get into his life. Jesperson was born April 6, 1955, to Leslie Les and Gladys Jesperson in Chittiwak, British Columbia, Canada. And he was the middle child of 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Jasper's father was a demurring alcoholic and constantly beat him, and even his grandfather was prone to violence. Jasper's father denied that he was an abusive parent, but after an investigation into the book about the killer, author Jack Olson confirmed that a lot of the abuse was by his family. Now, because of this, he was treated like an outcast and a black sheep of his own family and teased by other children, even his brothers and sisters. Because of his size, he ended up growing up to be 6 foot. I'm going to say what it says on this first site. He was the height of 6 foot 6 inches, or 1.98 meters for you people of European and everybody else in the world, I guess. But he also used to torture and kill animals, and that's one of the trifectas: killing and torturing animals, head injury, and bedwetting up into the teens. Is that? But his brothers and sister gave him the name Igor or Ag. Yes, apparently that's a name, but Ag, which I kind of want to call Instagram Ag now. What do you? I'm getting my stuff for the Ag. I'm gonna start that trend. I wanna see if I can start that trend. Ag. Because of this, Jasper was a shy child and considered playing by himself much of the time. He would often get into trouble for behaving badly and sometimes violently. He was severely punished by his father, including beating sometimes with a belt in front of others, and in one case, he received an electric shock. I guess the electric shock therapy didn't help him out. Anyways, at a very old age, at the age of 5, Jasper would capture and torture animals. He enjoyed watching the animals being killed, killing each other, and then eventually being killed by him by strangulation. Sometimes he even claimed that his father was proud of him for doing so. In the years following, Jasper said he would often thought about what it would be like killing a human. He did say, and it says like 2 attempted murders, but I guess the person just messed up, and there's like 3. But his first attempt was at the age of 10 when he and a friend of his in the neighborhood named Martin. The two would often get in trouble, and Jasper claimed that he was often punished many times because of the things that Martin had done. And Jesperson decided to violently attack Martin until his father pulled him away. He later claimed that his intention was to kill the boy. Apparently, 1 year later, Jesperson was swimming in a lake with another boy and held him underneath the water until he blacked out. Sometime later, at a public pool, Jesperson attempted to drown a boy while holding him underneath the head holding him underneath the water until the lifeguard pulled him away. Jesperson was also reported that he was raped at the age of 14. He really didn't have, from what a lot of the stuff that I've reading, a girlfriend in his high school years, and his father didn't believe that he would pass college, so he didn't help him through college, so he never went. But he did. He wasn't successful in high school with a girl. But in 1975, 2 years after he graduated high school, Jasper at the age of 20, he married a woman, Rose Huckle. Yeah. And the couple had 3 children, 2 daughters and 1 son. Jasper worked as a truck driver at this time to support his family. Several years later, Huckle began his wife, Rose, was suspected of Jasper of having an affair and then with strange woman calling at the house. Tension in the marriage increased, and after 14 years, while Jasper was on the road, she had picked up her belongings and drove her and her children's belongings and took the children 2 miles away to live with her parents in Skulking, Washington. The oldest child, Melissa, was 10 years old, and he continued to spend time with his children while he's on the road, and the couple divorced in 1990. At the age of 35, Jasper began working towards the goal of joining the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, but an injury suffered while training ended up this endeavor. He then sought work again as a interstate truck driver, which actually you can make a lot of money doing that, doing interstate truck drivers. I know like a lot of our listeners are truck drivers, and thank you for doing what you do, keeping the lifeblood of this country going. But he relocated to Chetney, Washington. Jasper soon realized the job offer afforded him to the opportunity to kill without being suspected. Yes, I've been wanting to go over something like this with some other people, but I haven't yet. I found this article from the LA Times about truck drivers being like the patient zero type stuff, to where they could kill in one state, go like 3 states over and dump the body there where nobody knows the person and whatnot. But the day with the information highway that we have now, I think it would be it wouldn't be super impossible, but it'd be close. I mean, we just now got the what do you call them, Long Island killer just recently. So which I was going to talk about this episode, but I'm going to wait until all the facts are done with that case, because it's still ongoing. So let us begin with the victim. Now, Jesperson's first victim was Tanya Bennett on January 21st, 1990, near Portland, Oregon. He introduced himself to Bennett at a bar and invited her into a house he was renting at. After getting into an argument with Bennett, he strangled her to death with his hands disposed of her body. On August 30th, 1992, current unidentified body Jesperson had raped and strangled was found near Bethany, California. Jesperson gave the Jane Doe a name that he strangled, Claudia. A month later, in Turlock, California, the body of Cynthia Lee Rose was discovered, and Jesperson claimed Rose was a sex worker who entered his truck at a truck stop while he slept. His fourth victim was another sex worker, Lorraine Ann Penlett, in Salem, Oregon, whose body was found in November 1992. According to Jesperson, Penlett attempted to double the fee she charged for the sex work that they engaged in, and she threatened to call the police, and he strangled her there. Jesperson's next victim was in June 1993 in Santa Nella, California. She was previously unidentified, a woman named Patricia Skipley, who claimed was named Carlotta or Cynthia. Considered her, the police believed her to be a drug overdose. In September 1994, another Jane Doe was found in Chesterview, Florida. Jesperson claimed, sorry if it seems a little bit off, I'm getting interrupted by people. In September 1994, another Jane Doe was found in Crestview, Florida. Jesperson claims that her name was Susan. She was identified as Susan Lee. Oh, that's Stephen Hawking. Come from the grave and pronounce this last name.
Jellenberg.
I guess the case silent. By authorium on October 3rd, 2023. Jesperson was arrested on March 31st. Oh, that's when she was identified. April 3rd, 2023. Dang, that's a long time. But on March 30th, 1995, for the he was arrested for the murder of Julian Willingham. He had been questioned by police a week beforehand, but they had no grounds for the arrest to arrest him after he refused to talk. In the days following, Jesperson decided that he would certainly going to be arrested, and did 2 attempted suicides. Should have completed the first one, you stupid fuck. Turned himself in to hoping the results of leniency during his sentencing. While in custody, Jasper began revealing details of his killings and making claims of many others. most of which he later recanted. That's why the difference in the amount of how many he killed, I guess, because he recanted on some of them. A few days before his arrest, he wrote a letter to his brother in which he confessed to him killing 8 people over the course of 5 years. This led police agencies in several states to reopen old cases, many of which were found to be possible victims of Jesperson. Although Jesperson at one point claimed that he had been as many as 160, only 8 women killed in Washington, Oregon, California, Florida, Nebraska, and Wyoming have been confirmed. He served 3 3 consecutive life sentencings in Oregon State Penitentiary in Salem. In 2009, Jefferson was indicted in Riverside County, California, on murder charges. He was extradited in December 2009. He was convicted in another murder, receiving the 4th life sentence in January 2010. But okay. Early in the investigation of the Bennett murder, Levine Padlick read the news report surrounding Bennett's death and saw it as an opportunity to force an end of a long-term abusive relationship. And this is where he eventually got caught. Laverne Padlick. I'm gonna have to. Stephen Hawking's gonna have to help me out with this one. Come back from the grave. Help me out.
Pavlinek.
Okay. Pavlinek reads a news report about Bennett's death and saw it as an opportunity to force an end of a long-term abusive relationship she had been in with her live-in boyfriend, John Skolnick. Stephen Hawking, again, come from the grave and help me out. You're a wonderful, wonderful dead man.
Sosnovsk.
Softnip. Now you're going to try. John. His first name is John. Laverne set up a meeting with the investigators and gave a false confession using details she had read in the newspaper, and gave a detailed story of how John forced her to help him rape, murder, and dispose of Bennett's body. John and Laverne were both arrested on March 5th, 1990, and were both convicted of the murders on February 8th, 1991. To avoid the possibility of facing the death penalty, John pleading no contest. He was sentenced to life in prison, while Laverne was sentenced no less than 10 years, which more than she had anticipated. Laverne soon admitted to making her entire story up, but her claims were ignored. On January 7th, 1996, more than 5 years after the conviction, John and Laverne were released from prison after Jesperson and his attorney offered his confession with convicting evidence of his guilt. Basically, he was convicted because of that murder. Hold on. Let me wrap my brain around this. I was going too fast with the words, and I wanted to say something. Jesperson confessed of the killing, basically, and all the evidence pointed to Jesperson. So Laverne and John were released. Sorry, sometimes I get caught up in all this stuff, and the words don't make sense when I'm reading them. Following Burnett's murder, as in all the attention was going towards John and Laverne, Jesperson wrote a confession on a bathroom wall of a truck stop and signed it with a happy smiley face. When that did not create the intention he desired, he wrote a letter to the media outlets and police departments confessing to his murders, starting with the 6-page letter to the Oregon Stephen Hawking. I'm not even going to fucking attempt this.
Oregonian.
Oregon. You got it. In which he revealed the details of his killings after signing each letter with a happy face. Then this led Phil Stanford, a journalist working with the story with an Oregonian, to dub Jesperson the Happy Face Killer. In November 8th, 2008, Jefferson's daughter, Melissa G. Moore, appeared on Dr. Phil to talk about her father. She also featured on the Oprah Winfrey show, the Lifetime Movie Network Monster in the Family, and a 2020 special on ABC. She was a correspondent for Crime Watch Daily. I wonder if that's still around. Okay. In 2008, Moore published a book that was titled Shattered Silence, The Untold Story of a Serial Killer's Daughter. Moore recounts living with Jesperson until her parents divorced in 1990 and noticed how her father was different when she was in elementary school. Their house bored an apple orchard, and Jesperson killed stray cats and gophers that wandered nearby. One day, she watched horrified as he hung stray cats from the family clothesline. She ran to get her mother, and when they returned, the kittens laid on the ground dead. He had watched and laughed as the kittens crawled each other, trying to escape. Then he killed them. In November 2014, she wrote an article about her father for the BBC. And this is just other stuff on here. Now, that's kind of fucked off. This is the first one I've actually read and got into to where let's do this. I read and got into that the one of the children. I mean, there's probably a lot of them, but where the child gave descriptive details of what happened in their lives. I mean, there's some of the wife had just blatantly pushed everything aside. But when you're just 10 years old and figuring out and seeing all that stuff, that's kind of weird. Anyways, everybody, again, I'm going to try to get other people to introduced into the Psychos and Sociopaths so I can get them a little bit longer. But if writing in the comments and everything, if the short platform is good for you or whatnot, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere that's Angry Me Production, give me a shout out of what you're all looking for. I'll try to make them a little bit longer so I'll have a lot to listen to on the roads or something in the background, so y'all can have something to listen to while you are doing work. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Good night.